Where's the outrage? It's been nearly 3 years since Joe Ramirez Jr. was unalived inside a Texas high school bathroom. The accused, Caysen Allison, a white classmate, has been on house arrest since July 2022 after posting $175,000 bail. Now, his trial for murder is finally underway. But where is the outrage? Where is the national attention? Where are the demands for justice for Joe? Why has it taken years for this case to even reach trial? But let's look at the case of Carmelo Anthony, the black teenager who claimed self-defense after unaliving a white kid. Suddenly, everyone is outraged. Even though it was a case of self-defense, the public is demanding justice, the media is all over it, and the narrative is clear. But when the roles are reversed, when a white teenager unalives a Latino teenager, it seems like the outrage disappears. The story fades into the background, and justice is delayed for years. If we're going to talk about fairness and equality, we need to hold every case to the same standard, no matter the color of the people involved. Because if you're only outraged when it fits your narrative, then you're not fighting for justice. You're fighting for control of the story.
Trial got underway today for Caysen Allison. He's charged with murder in the stabbing of Joe Ramirez at Belton High School back in May of 2022.
News 10's Isabella Quintanilla was in the courtroom all day today. She has more from this first day of the trial.
The 146th District Court was packed today with families, friends, witnesses, and others, all who have been waiting nearly 3 years to learn the fate of now 21-year-old Caysen Allison. We first heard from the state prosecutors who are charging Caysen Allison with murder, saying he was intentionally cutting and stabbing Joe Ramirez, to which Allison pleaded not guilty. His defense attorneys then gave their opening statement, implying it was self-defense. Defense attorney Zachary Boyd told the jury, quote, Caysen was in the fight for his life, where he was jumped by 5 friends. We heard from 5 state witnesses today, including a 911 record custodian, the Belton ISD Director of Safety and Security, 2 teachers who saw the aftermath of the stabbing, and the school nurse. At the start of the trial, they played 5 911 calls from 2 staff members, 2 students, and a parent. In one of those calls, a girl identified Caysen, claiming she saw him running through the parking lot with a bloody nose. They then played security footage from several cameras showing Joe and 3 others walking into a bathroom, Caysen and another boy walking in shortly after. 5 boys, including Joe, then ran out of the bathroom and split up, with Caysen once again running out shortly after. We also saw footage of Joe running down the main hallway, bleeding onto the floor and then collapsing. Blood immediately began to pool as teachers and staff quickly surrounded him. Many of Joe's family and friends were in tears as they watched this all play out. One witness, the first to get to Joe, said, quote, his breathing was rapid and shallow. It appeared to me as if he had a punctured lung. Another witness, the school nurse, said they gasped when they cut open Joe's shirt, finding a gaping wound across his left chest. She also shared that a student that had been in the bathroom was brought to the nurse's office and was on the phone with his mom saying, quote, Caysen stabbed Joe. Reporting in Belton, Isabella Quintanilla, KWTX, News 10.
So, all this talk about Carmelo Anthony, why ain't nobody talking about Caysen Allison? Him actually being in the school. This happened in 2022. Him actually being in the school, during school, on school grounds, in the bathroom. They got into it with a boy, Joe Ramirez. Poked him multiple times with a folded poker. Multiple times. Bail set at $1 million, just like Carmelo's. However, reduced to $175,000. Also raised money. Been out on bond since 2022. Trial start this week. Also pleaded self-defense. Y'all really think we about to let y'all struck one of ours though? It just seems like it's a mental problem. It seems like the people down there got a mental problem, like they could big dog somebody. So we about to show y'all we ain't playing with y'all. Rest in peace, Joe Ramirez, because this is a fucking problem.
Hey y'all, it's your friendly neighborhood therapist, and do I have something interesting to share with y'all today? So, the other day, I did a post in which I compared, sort of, Carmelo Anthony, the 17-year-old student in Frisco, Texas, compared his situation to the situation of Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, it is very obvious that those are different cases in several ways. But y'all want to be obtuse and just act like y'all slow when it comes to why folks are comparing those two. You had 2 17-year-olds, both who claim self-defense, The point was the difference in responses to those two young men and why that was. So, since everybody's complaint was these are such different cases, well, have I got something for y'all today? So, I didn't even know about this current case I'm about to tell y'all about, but its trial just started and the similarities are astounding, but the responses, well, let's just get into it. So, apparently, Caysen Allison's murder trial began. Caysen Allison was accused of stabbing and unaliving 18-year-old Joe Ramirez at Belton High School in 2022. Now, that was 3 years ago, but the trial just started now. He has been on house arrest since 2022. But let's give you some information. So, the trial of a former Belton High School student accused of fatally stabbing his classmate began Monday with opening statements and the first witness testimony. The stabbing happened on May 18, 2022, when Caysen Allison, then 18, allegedly stabbed Joe Ramirez, also 18, multiple times during a fight involving other students. Allison, who has been out on bond and under house arrest since July 2022, faces a murder charge that could carry a sentence of 5 years to life in prison. Now, Allison says that this was self-defense. The reactions that folks are seeing in the comments on social media are just very shocking. Now, I'm not shocked because look at Allison. Look at Caysen Allison. Young white male. Of course it was self-defense. Look at Ramirez. Well, we already knew when we heard the name, basically, but so this one's self-defense. This is the one that y'all say is self-defense, mind you. Let's use some of y'all current arguments. This happened on school grounds, in the school bathroom. He had a knife. Why did he have a knife at school? It could have just been a fist fight. Ain't that what y'all just said about? Oh. So anyway, the defense attorney, Zachary Boyd, argued Allison acted in self-defense after being jumped in a bathroom. Caysen survived what very well could have been death or bodily injury by a group beatdown, Boyd argued. So, bullying again, right? He feared for his life, he's saying. So a few weeks ago, jury selection began with 120 potential jurors and was narrowed down after extensive vetting from the defense and prosecutors, which included the concepts of reasonable doubt and presumption of innocence, racial dynamics, and self-defense in school settings. This is going to be a repeat of the Carmelo Anthony case, except, as y'all have been saying, the colors are switched. And it is quite amazing how many people of a certain hue are saying that this one is clear-cut self-defense. Meanwhile, Carmelo's is clear-cut murder. That's what y'all saying, right? But there are so many similarities. Being on school grounds, even though Carmelo wasn't on school grounds, having a knife, even though Texas knife laws say what they say. The only difference here is that the two boys involved in this one are legally adults. They're 18. Meanwhile, Carmelo is 17, and so is Austin, which would explain also why he is facing the life in prison possibility. Well, I'll be. Now, there are so many similarities here. So why are y'all reacting differently here? Why do you believe for him it was self-defense, but for him it was not? Why do you believe that in the case of the two young students who have lost their lives, he was just a good kid who did nothing wrong, couldn't have possibly been bullying anybody with his twin brother? But I bet you don't think that about him, Ramirez. Oh, this was probably a gang situation, huh? That's what y'all was saying in some of the comments I saw. A gang jumped him, and he had to protect himself. We don't know that. And could he run away? Could he have run away like y'all said Carmelo should have done? He should have just run away. He should have gotten away. he had time to leave. According to witnesses, he did have time to leave. So, yeah, what now? This case is way more similar. So, what now? Why is the response so very different? Why is Caysen Allison a victim of bullying who protected himself and used self defense, but Carmelo is not? He's just a black boy who couldn't control his temper and his anger and unalived Austin Metcalf instead of leaving the tent where he didn't belong, even though there were no rules that he couldn't be there and he was supposed to be at the track meet. I'm so looking forward to what y'all have to say.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing out there? Say what now? Have y'all heard about this case? I think the trial started Monday. If you don't know, this young man, what the fuck is his name? Caysen Allison. Y'all gotta stop giving y'all kids names that sound like they gonna end up fucking somebody up. Caysen Allison, and this is Joe Ramirez. So again, I got to say condolences to Joe Ramirez family, because Caysen Allison poked him up in the school bathroom. Let me read it to you. They said he didn't want to fight. That's what two former Belton High School students said about Caysen Allison as they testified during the second day of Allison's unaliving trial. Allison, accused of poking and unaliving Joe Ramirez during a fight inside the restroom at Belton High School in 2022, is on trial in Belton, Texas. However, this is what I come here to say. First of all, my condolences to this young man's family. My condolences to this young man's family as well. Because but this what where is the YT outrage about this? Huh? This happened on school grounds in the bathroom. Everybody had friends in the bathroom at the time. But then I see a lot of the comment section. It's very different from Carmelo's comment section. Y'all saying that he was being jumped. He was being jumped. Well, that's what we saying. Carmelo was being jumped as well. So, he's using self-defense. All right. Come again? Okay. See, this is what I want to say, because this is very, very crazy, but it's so true. This young man is a Hispanic young man. This young man is clearly white. This is the reason why the comment section is very different. So we're not going to say that the real reason why you people have your attention span be so slow is because this shit is black and white. It is. If this don't apply to you, lay low. Because the very reason why y'all not all in this Caysen trial and what he done is because the victim was melanated. He was a brown baby. You wasn't in there? The video that Caysen's own friends showed in court was him hitting the boy with the poker. They said Ramirez swung first. Then they say Caysen came with the poker. He didn't hit him once. He hit him multiple times. I want you to understand this. Where is the YT outrage? Huh? He claiming the same thing as Carmelo. But Carmelo hit once. This Caysen Allison boy hit multiple times. He meant. But he causing self-defense. Y'all got to get out of here with this bullshit, and this is why. This shit is what it is. It's black and white. And why do it have to be this way, Paul? Because why is it so different when it's one of ours? But when it's one of yours, he is the hero of the country. He was standing on business. Huh? Why I didn't see nothing but in the comments for him. He was bullied. He was bullied. He was jumped. You got to get home. He had $1 million bond. They reduced it to $175K. Y'all ain't chirping. Bro, I'm trying to tell you what I'm telling you. Y'all better listen to me real quick. Ain't nobody trying to make it a race issue, but it is. They was fighting over a female. I believe it was before prom. This happened in 2022. This just not going to trial. I meant to say that. But they fighting up for me. And then some of y'all swear y'all know that Carmelo and Austin were fighting over a chick. And this the same thing, ain't it sounding like? Where is the outrage is what I want to know. Where is the crying out for this young man right here? Where is the crying out for his family? Where is the crying out? Like I said, when the victim looked like me or melanated, nobody gives a damn when the perpetrator looked like this. Y'all can miss me with it. Shout out to the tick and the talk. Oh, we on y'all ass about this. I just want to hear the comments about this. Where is the outrage? Where is the outrage? Is Joe family calling his family, telling them what they gonna do to them? Just tell me. Huh? Or the Hispanic community calling his family, telling them you better move? Did anybody put his family's address online? I want to know. Tell me. Watch this, because it happened in Texas. Because I heard when the school nurse synced this young man's wound, She couldn't take it. You took him. He hit him multiple times, calling self-defense. Oh, yeah. We watching this. I'm sorry for your family's loss, Mr. Joe Ramirez. We watching this. Oh, yeah, did not neglect to mention he was out on house arrest. What y'all got to say about that?